In Romans chapter 3, Paul establishes that no one is righteous and are all under the power of sin. He says that no one will be declared righteous in God's sight by the works of the law. Paul introduces to which the law and the prophets testify this righteousness is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. So, what Paul is saying is that we're all sinners, whether Jews or Gentiles, and that in God's sight, no one is righteous by works of the law. Through the law, we become aware of our sin, but it's by faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. Um, we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God and are justified freely through his grace, through the redemption that came by Jesus Christ. So we'll go more into depth while we read in the chapter. So if you go to Romans chapter 3, we're going to start at verse 9. So Romans chapter 3, and we're going to read from verse 9 through 20. Okay. So it says, what shall we conclude then? Do we have any advantage? Not at all. For we have already made the charge that Jews and Gentiles alike are all under the power of sin. As it is written, there is no one righteous, not even one. There is no one who understands. There is no one who seeks God. All have turned away. They have together become worthless. There is no one who does good, not even one. Their throats are open graves, their tongues practice deceit. The poison of vipers is on their lips. Their mouths are full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Ruin and misery mark their ways, and the way of peace they do not know. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it says to those who are under the law, so that every mouth may be silenced and the whole world held accountable to God. Therefore, no one will be declared righteous in God's sight by the works of the law. Rather, through the law, we became conscious of our sin. So, right here, he says that no one will be declared righteous in God's sight by the works of the law. Rather, through the law, we become conscious of our sin. So, through the law, we become aware of our sin, but we are not declared righteous. So, we're going to read on from verse 21 through 26. So, but now from the law, the righteousness of God has been made known, to which the law and the prophets testify. The righteous is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. This righteousness is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. So he says that this righteousness is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. There is no difference between Jew and Gentile, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and all are justified freely by his grace through the redemption that came by Christ Jesus. So God presented Christ as a sacrifice of atonement through the shedding of his blood to be received by faith. So Christ was, God presented Christ as the sacrifice of atonement through the shedding of his blood, to be received by faith. He did this to demonstrate his righteousness, but in his forbearance, he had left the sins committed beforehand unpunished. He did it to demonstrate his righteousness at the present time, so as to be just and the one who justifies those who have faith in Jesus. So, um, so basically, he had left the sins committed beforehand unpunished, um, and he did it to demonstrate his righteousness at the present time, so as to be just and the one who justifies those who have faith in Jesus Christ. And so I was going to stop there, but I guess we can read on. Um, Where then is boasting? It is excluded because of what law? The law that requires work. No, because of the law that requires faith. For we maintain that a person is justified by faith apart from the works of the law. Or is God the God of Jews only? Is he not the God of Gentiles too? Yes, of Gentiles too, since there is only one God who will justify the circumcised by faith and the uncircumcised through the same faith. Do we then nullify the law by his faith? Not at all. Rather we uphold the law. Okay, so basically, um, we're all sinners, and um, we're not made righteous through the law, but through Jesus Christ, and um, we're justified by his grace, and um, yeah, so we're justified by Jesus Christ and his grace, and through belief in Jesus, we have righteousness. Okay, so that's all that I have for today. Um, so my name is Brandy Smith. If you haven't already, you can go ahead and hit like and subscribe button for more content. Thank you for watching. Have a blessed evening, and until next time.